Welcome to TradeMade Portfolio Analyst. Portfolio Analyst lets you combine lots of reports from Tradestation into a portfolio. You can see the daily equity, closed trade equity, open trade equity, monthly net profit, and many other graphs and metrics. You can see the combined daily reports, monthly reports, and annual reports. You can see daily drawdown, whether that be closed trade or whether that be intraday drawdown. You can see more on the distribution curves of drawdown, and most importantly, you can see the drawdowns of all the systems combined and interlaid. Now this is very important because the thing you want to avoid is to have systems that all happen to draw down at the same moment. You can see the contribution of each system to the overall portfolio equity. Now this is the interesting thing. You can see the monthly correlation of the strategies. And you can see that GSB SIS1ES has a 0.42 correlation between RC2ES. That's reasonably high. But what gets much more interesting is if you look at the days where it loses, it's actually got a negative correlation. And hence, traditionally you might have said, oh, I shouldn't trade that. But now you can see that the important thing is when it's going to lose, it's not related. So again, you can see that on a monthly basis, it's got a 0.05 negative correlation between GSB SIS1ES and RC2ES. A very useful tool and metric to know. The drawdown lines that you saw, you can also see the correlation between the systems on how close the drawdown lines are to each other. You can see all the trades combined into one Tradestation equivalent of report. Many things you can choose to export or import, whether you want the trade list, a disclaimer, export individual trades, or have a simplified report which gives you a lot less metrics but is quite useful just to promote systems in a PDF or something like that. The output can be saved as MHT file or PDF or CSV if you want your trade list. This is the simplified report, and you can see it's basically giving you the summary and just the monthly returns, including the optional disclaimer. Great that you can send out a PDF rather than MHT, because MHTs are sometimes problematic, particularly if you send them out. Now, how do you put data into Portfolio Analyst? You simply select XML, click the button and export the report. You can also put an indicator on a chart and it will export the data as well. You can use either way, whatever works best for you. Then simply go to Add File, which you've saved, and you can just click the files that you want or don't want. Click Open and it will load those into Portfolio Analyst. If you click Generate Report, those files are processed and you have access to all the reports. You can also look at the commission and slippage values, and they can be set to whatever is in the dictionary, which is back here. So there you've got your brokerage rates and your slippage rates. You can add a symbol if it's not already in the dictionary. You can also do Monte Carlo analysis, and people find that useful so they can work out at what point a system has failed. So we'll click on the Monte Carlo tab, we choose a system, and we can do results, and that will give us the Monte Carlo results for any particular system. There are many more features coming, for example, profit per month, profit per day of a week, whether that be long or short, profit per week of year, and all these things people can find useful to analyze your portfolio. There's also some neat settings. For example, you can edit the disclaimer, and that gets sent out with every document that this produces. It's an optional to send it out, but if you want to change the disclaimer, you can just edit this here and that will go out with every document. And the other thing you can do is there's a watermark. So If you want to be XYZ brokerage firm and you want that to go out on every PDF or MHT file that you do send out, you can simply click on Generate Report, you click on Save, and we'll just do Test Disclaimer, like so, and then we'll open that document. And you can see on the bottom of the document, you see XYZ brokerage firm. I forgot to mention also, we're looking at adding things like some sort of basic money management concept in the portfolio analyst, potentially something that will turn systems off when they reach their failure point and turn them on if they start to recover. We may also have automatic capital allocation. I have a unique formula that's very simple that will tell me how many systems I can trade for a certain amount of cash. And that's an important issue because if you get too aggressive in your money management, you'll tend to blow up, and that's not a good long-term outcome for trading. So please keep an eye on the new builds, and if you like the product, please buy it to support its future development. Something else you may be interested in is a very exciting product. It's a very unique and new product. It's a genetic system builder that is like no other. It is faster than anything else, and the architecture is going to give a far higher success rate of out-of-sample performance compared to most other system builders, which is often the failure rate of system builders. I'm going to set 60% out of sample, and I'm going to begin building systems. I'm going to choose the S&P 500 and the cash indice of the S&P 500 and the S&P 400. I can just simply select the data symbols by clicking on whatever files I want there. I click Start, and this will be producing systems at an extremely fast rate. You can see we're doing about 2,000 systems per minute. And I'm going to leave that to run for about 5 minutes or so, and we'll look at the best performing systems then. You can see already just in a matter of seconds, it's already built some quite linear systems. So I've been running for 7 minutes now. I want to make one comment about the filters that we have in place here. We've got filters on the in sample, so I'm looking for a Pearson's correlation of 0.99 to a straight line, so it's a very linear type of system. And any system out of sample will pass. So no matter how bad it is, we're going to see every single system that comes through GSB. We're not just filtering for the systems that have made money over the entire period. So I'm going to look at the overall performance, and I'm going to go from the worst to the best. So you can see there we've got a number of systems that have totally tanked out of sample. So that's the very worst one. The second the worst one is that one there. And this is an order of as bad as I can get from as good as I can get. So considering that's the worst of the bunch, that's actually pretty reasonable. But when I saw it on the best of the bunch, and this is after 8 minutes of processing now, you can see we're getting some very nice linear equity curves. Every one of those systems is unique. Even if you exclude the fact that the parameters could be different, every single system here is going to be a unique system. Now the really exciting thing is I can now just right click and I can run a walk forward test, whether that be single threaded or multi-threaded. And even though I'm generating systems at the same time, I can be doing some walk forward tests. So I like that one there too, so I'm going to run a walk forward test of that one. And we'll do that one there. And the interesting thing is, how well are these systems going to pass a walk forward test? Because typically what happens on system builders is they go great till you get to this point here which is the out of sample section, and then they tend to tank. So we'll come back in 5 or 10 minutes and it will have completed those walk forward tests, and we'll see how the results are. The first system has completed the walk forward test. So the original line here is the bottom one here, which shows the training and test. So you can see everything that was walk forwarded gave improved results. The reason for this is the initial parameters that were chosen by the system builder were not the ideal parameters. You can see that the top curve is the in-sample curve, and that's giving the best results. Fractionally below it is the walk forward curve, which is almost as good and parallel to the top curve there. Fantastic result overall. If GSB interests you, you can go to trademaid.info /systembuilder.htm and fill in a web form, and you can get a fully working beta copy. There's also some very good discounts and things thrown in for the early adopters. Thanks for watching and for supporting our products.